Okay, so as you explained, now you have this a certain number of friendship where you develop friendship and you have love. You make love when you feel that it is okay, it is meaningful in the relation. So it is a very special, for mainstream people, it could look as a very special way to live, actually. It is a kind of polyamour, we could say, actually. It is, if you look in Wikipedia, the name for this is polyamour. So you discover that what actually at this moment is good for you is a kind of polyamour. So what did you learn from this situation? What really changed in you, in the relation of the other? What the inside you discover in this inside of this new type of relationship?
What did I learn? So, I learned that it's a very deep question. I learned that I can open my heart to many people, that there is not the one that has the key and is able to open my heart, but I am the one that is responsible for my heart, and I can decide to open it again for not only for man but for existence. And of course the channel of love with men, with my friends, is a very powerful one to experience this this heart opening, where it can be with one and it can be with the other one, and it can be, and then also in a way intimacy becomes something different. Intimacy is also a state of being. It's how much I am in contact with myself, how much I am intimate with myself, then I am intimate with others. Usually I always say it's all about contact. There's nothing else. It's all about contact. And as soon I learned to make contact with human beings, I cannot even say men anymore. I learn more and more, because I'm not at the point where I say I know everything, but I learn. I'm on the way to learn to make truthful contact. So
yes,
to say
you feel a better intimacy with plants, with animals. You enlarge your ability to build an intimacy with any kind of being. It is this what you learn?
Yeah, mostly I must say that mostly I learned it. I'm learning it with human beings.
Yes. Okay.
Mostly I'm interested in human beings. Of course I love nature. I love animals. I'm vegetarian and animal rights fighter since ever. But yeah, it's, I think, the most difficult but the most longing goes to learn again to make contact with human beings, but truthful one. And so through this, I like also how you call it polyamour. I learned to depersonalize love. So again, it's not so linked to this one or that one. I just see a heart and a human being where I can go and land. And this the new thing is that it can include sexuality without psyche problems, without thinking now I have to fulfill something, I have to do something, I have to marry this man. So this is the new level I learned.
And do you experience in each of these relation a kind of differentiation? Did you experience the fact that in a way each relation has a very unique path?
Each relation has a very unique path. It's this, I always think, it's this image of I am a universe and each person is one different universe. So each universe I encounter opens the possibility opens the gate towards knowing myself in a different way. So each man I love is a different gate I cross to know myself. So of course every person I encounter is a totally different universe, and still the ground is the universal truth or the universal law which we all relate to at the end. So there is this both at the same time we're one. Humanity is working on. We have all at the very basic we have all the whole same longing for home, same longing for love, same longing to love. But with each person you encounter, another universe opens.
And how all this experience of 2 years have changed your view about man and woman and relation, knowing that you come from a past where you was activist in the field of the issue of right for women and everything.
Well, I must say that my feminist background is from the latest feminist philosophy, which is also very linked to France, Luce Rigarai, and the whole movement of it's called Feminismo della differenza, feminism of difference. And it's never really, it's always, to make it really short, it always underlined that the women should stop being the victim of the patriarchic story. It was good in the 70s to affirm oneself and to be the victim and to fight against men, but now it doesn't serve anymore. And so also I found the same line in Tamara and even more deeper, because it's also on a practical level, while feminism, I think it's very theoretical. It gives the new ground for thinking, but not practically. I don't see much results. But here it's really about ending the fight between the genders. In Tamara we practice inner peace also mostly in this direction, to stop the fight between man and woman, and to stop the fight between women and women, and between man and man, but mainly between man and woman. And so the new pictures are that I, as a woman, take responsibility for my love, for my happiness, for my fulfillment, and I do not put it anymore onto others. Therefore, I step out of being a victim, and therefore I step out of the whole patriarchic history. And this, it's a journey.
What is the main difference that you experience through all this friendship and love relation? Then, what seems to you on the speaking with woman, speaking with man? What seems for you the main difference in the way to see love between, or to see sexuality between man and woman?
Here?
In general, more in general, as a gender issue.
The main difference I experience from what I see in society or what I've been taught, what is love? No.
Or more in your own experience, because when you do this circle where each person speaks, then women are speaking about their issue, men are speaking about their issue. So then, as you are a group, it is a kind of, it is true that sharing in truth the feelings, their own desire and everything. So then it is a kind of accelerate learning process to understand the difference between man and woman. So did you learn something about this through those yourself? I mean, not what it is right in the book, but what you discover.
So the difference between man and woman.
Yeah, in a way they address sexuality, love, and even spirituality, perhaps.
Very, very big question. The first thing that came to my mind, I just say it, I discovered that one man cannot fulfill one woman.
Yes.
And one man cannot be fulfilled by one woman. So I see it because through also this experiencing the forum, experiencing my friends talking about love and sexuality and their way in relationship, I see that the most fight comes between those people that have chosen to be together and only together. So there you see how much unfulfilled longings they have by living this very close one-to-one relationship. There's always an underlying fight where he didn't give me enough, she didn't give me enough. So there's this truth I discovered. One man cannot satisfy one woman, and one woman cannot be satisfied by one man. So you can translate it not only sexually, it could be spiritually and intellectually. We're meant to be really big. We need space. All of us are meant to be really big. We need a lot of space and a lot of people where to experience oneself. So
that is a very interesting discover, and that is interesting because it is something which is true both for woman and man. But do you have feeling that there are some issues even in this way. For example, does man are more jealous than woman, or the woman more jealous, or does there have some way where man are, or perhaps male fall in love more quickly than woman, or does, there are some, or perhaps some, there are classical issues that, for example, classically we know sociologically that man can be very more quick in their way to have sex, for example, to wish to have sex. But that is a mainstream world. Perhaps that changed when you are in this new context of free love. And perhaps some other difference may appear, I don't know.
I don't really know how to answer this question, because I know what happens in mainstream culture is that they build cliches.
Yes.
So boxes. So the man is more like this, the woman is more like this. So I can't really.
And you don't find all those cliches through these 2 years? You find those cliches was not really helpful in a way.
Yeah, they're not.
They was not really relevant.
No.
There was more culture build.
Yeah.
That really.
Yeah, because woman has lust also, has much lust, and there's no. I don't see anymore. It's always the man that wants to have sex. The woman has the same lust, or probably the lust of the woman, because suppressed by so much years of patriarchy. Then patriarchat. Then it's huge. The lust of the woman is.
And for example, you have also this issue, for example, that in some culture it is not acceptable that a woman go to a man saying, I wish I am in love with you, or even he will be even more shocked, or could be difficult to handle that a woman go to a man and say, I wish to have sex with you. It is always the man who have to do things. But in some other culture, let's say, for example, in USA, there are even there are a kind of situation where if the woman don't do it, then the man is so afraid that he will never do it. So you have different kind of culture. So in this experience of 2 years, what has changed in this field? For example, in Italy, I don't know how it works, but it may work very differently than in France, or that in a Norway country, Norwich country, or North country. So what about this? What kind of culture after marine in this different field? Perhaps something interesting appears or disappears, but perhaps it appears that now, usually when you have this free space, then the women are more free to say, I wish, than man, and perhaps then man don't do it because they just wait, or I don't know what happens.
Again, I cannot give you a general rule, but what we really try here is a new culture, which is a culture of truth. So basically what you, when you want to take responsibility for your life, you should do is to say your truth.
Yes.
And as a woman, to say the truth and speak it as loud as possible with as much people around as possible. And this could mean I want to I love sex, and I would like to invite this man for sex now. This can be an example of what happens when one is really free to do it, because there's a culture around that lets you free to to do such things, and instead in our in society, what we do is just to lie. Is based on a marriage is based on a complete lie, because human beings are naturally attracted to other human beings, and you marry one woman or one man for all your life, you're still attracted to other people. Either you do it secretly, which is most of the cases, and then the marriage breaks up, and so on. And here what we do is as simple as telling each other the truth about the attractions. Simple, very, very simple. Nothing strange. It should be like this everywhere.
And of course, perhaps the last question is, what happens, what did you experience when you come back in the mainstream world, who are working on a very different way? So is it hurt you just because then you leave your field of trust, your field of awareness, your group? So is it easy to come back to the mainstream? Is it difficult to adapt? And how you see then your life in the mainstream? Can you now imagine to come back in the mainstream life, and how you will handle this? Or do you feel that now you wish for the future live in a kind of community or a group on this basis?
There are two sides where when I go back to society, or to the mainstream type of life. On one side, it's really difficult because I have reached a kind of sensibility for human beings, where my view on them is so sensible and fine and compassionate that when I see the way people still live, when I see my grandmother, how she's living, when I see my father and my mother and my friends, how untruthful to each other we live still, then something in my heart hurts. And this is the side where it's not so easy. But on the other hand, because I more and more approach this human knowledge of people, I know I know more and more about the longings, the really deep longings. Then I also know how to follow them. And in the mainstream society, I find it easy to get what I need and what I want, even easier than here. It's also the spiritual practice that we do in Tamara, to ask for guidance, to pray and so on. When I go in the mainstream society again, I'm so conscious about how reality really works that it's that I ask for things and I receive them. So in this level it's easy, but there's also the level where I don't want to live like in mainstream society anymore. I feel too much complicity, or I cannot really fully speak my truth till the end, because it will not be fully understood.
So what do you wish to do in the future? You wish to continue in Tamara, build a new community? What they propose at the end? Now you have been here for 2 years, so there are still 1 year. So what could be the next step for you?
Many projects. First of all, I will go where the goddess wants me to be, first of all. And then my pictures are either I continue living here and become a co-worker of the project, or I leave for 1 or 2 years and to travel and go more deep in my theater passion, education. It's a passion and I want to go deeper in the education. And for this I would love to have a group of people to have a theater experience together with this group of people. We know some theaters in Germany where it's really open for such experiments. So I would love to experiment 1 year with a group of people from here making theater in Germany. Or there's also the possibility that I join the Peace Research Village in the Middle East. So there are many possibilities. I just have to choose.
Okay, thank you very much.